Okay, and we're back. They did the hugs. We were excited. Everyone liked hugs, apparently. They hugged it out, they graduated, and they're moving on. It's a team. It's broskies. So, Caitlyn, the new Divas champion. I like Caitlyn.
I'm glad for you.
I like her a lot.
Do you know?
I think you should know this.
Okay. Why?
I don't know. Just so you know. She was facing Alicia Fox. And thank God she made short work of her, because Alicia Fox is just not really... You know what I mean? She's just not... She's just in the ring.
Should I do it for you? I mean...
I don't think she does it for anybody. I'm just saying, when she's in a match, I'm just like... stop. But I like Caitlyn. And she, sadly, a lot of the divas are gone, so she's like the leader, I guess, of the divas or something.
I think so.
And we continue. Paul Heyman, he's talking for Punk, and since The Rock is banned, Punk gets to relax up in the top in the skybox, viewing Raw from the nosebleed sections in the cheap seats.
I've never understood that. Like the expensive luxury nosebleed seats.
Yeah, I don't know, because you don't have...
ever gotten that.
I mean, you get to see over everything, but you're so far back.
I'm like, I could pay like $10 and get the same seat.
Well, except on the floor with the people. He didn't want to be with the people, he's above the people. See, that's why he was up there, because he's above everyone else.
Oh, okay. Alright.
I'm just guessing.
Go ahead.
So The Rock comes out, and apparently he didn't get arrested. So did he talk his way out of the situation? Did he blast past them?
We don't know.
Did he, inspire them to the point where they just, fainted? Because, that guy was loving his jokes and smiling, so maybe he just was like, oh.
It shall remain a mystery.
We don't know. They didn't really explain it. So The Rock's like, I got a ticket. And Paul Heyman points out, yeah, well, so does everybody else in the crowd, but they don't jump in the ring. You know what I mean? If they do, they get subdued in 1 second. So, apparently he got a ticket to the ring. But, hey, he's The Rock. No one's going to tell him to stop. And we know this, because that's what happened.
I know. If The Rock came up to me and was like, I need to get in this building, I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, he's The Rock. He's awesome.
Just saying.
So, okay. So The Rock says, he's free at last, or he's going to free everyone at last. He gives a
Martin Luther King Jr. speech.
Yes, which he's done in the past.
Really?
Because I remembered the one where he's like, The Rock whooping ass, thank God Almighty. Yeah, he did that.
Nice.
Way back in the day. And that was an awesome one. And he did can you smell what The Rock's cooking and everything. So, with this, we're thinking, well... It looks like Paul Heyman's kind of in a tough spot because he's in the ring with The Rock. And Paul Heyman cannot have any help because little CM Punk, the WWE champion, he cannot help. Then the lights go out. And the lights come back on, and it's the Shield. And the Shield is beating down The Rock, putting him down, beating him down. So, more obvious than ever, looks like the Shield is in the pocket of Punk. But, I don't know. Because the Shield is there to prevent injustice or whatever, right? And the injustice would be The Rock breaking into the arena. So, that makes perfect sense, right?
Sure.
Something that they didn't really touch on when they were explaining how they had nothing to do with the Shield.
That's true. They didn't really make what a good, sound, logical reason that you just came up with.
I know. They didn't do that at all. They were just like, oh, that was random. They attack lots of other people. So, anyways, The Rock has a little bit of blood coming out of his mouth. Not really sure why, because,
he had 3 dudes beating up on him.
I know, but, did somebody actually pop him in the mouth?
I don't know, I didn't see.
And then he got powerbombed, I don't know.
I was just saying, I don't know. I don't like guys like The Rock getting beat up. Because it's like, if you're The Rock, you're supposed to be able to, overcome all obstacles.
See,
and then you got these 3, little half-jobber dudes that just beat the crap out of you.
Well, they've already been in the main event.
They're still half-jobber dudes.
Well, this is the thing. When you have a beatdown like that, doesn't it kind of seem like, well, The Rock has to win now because he got beat down. He got disgraced, and he's got to overcome the odds and beat old CM Punk. Plus, we find out that... Vince McMahon says to Punk and them, if you interfere in the match with the Shield or whatever, you're going to be stripped of the title and everything. So if the Shield can legitimately not be there, how could The Rock possibly lose to CM Punk? You know what I mean? It just seems like there's no way little Punk is going to be able to hold on to the title.
It's true.
Like The Rock said, this is the last night on Raw you'll ever see him as a champion, or whatever, because The Rock's going to win. So I don't know. I'm kind of thinking The Rock's going to come away with that belt.
I hope The Rock comes away with the belt. I'm tired of CM Punk having it.
But by the way, we have another Beat the Clock challenge.
Oh, yeah.
And it's Wade Barrett and Sheamus. And there was a Let's Go Barrett chant. And I thought that was interesting, but I guess they did not... Okay, so this is another thing that made no sense to me, right?
Okay.
So Dolph Ziggler and company comes down to the ring. AJ gets in the ring. She does distract Sheamus.
Yes.
But Sheamus, he ran at Wade Barrett to hit him.
He only lost a couple of seconds when he was distracted by AJ, but that's all he needed to lose. Because he was only short by a couple of seconds.
I mean, that's true. But him getting the waist slam, or what is that move called, the black hole slam or whatever, he got that done to him by Wade Barrett only because he ran directly at Wade Barrett, and Wade Barrett caught him before Sheamus had that chance to hit him. What I'm saying is, Sheamus didn't get attacked from behind. He clearly turned around, looked at Wade Barrett, decided, I'm going to run and try to kick you, and then he got caught. So it wasn't AJ's fault. He was not blindsided. He was not rolled up. That was his mistake. That was his fault.
Okay.
AJ had nothing to do with it.
Honestly, I wasn't watching that closely, so
I'm just letting you know that, to me, that wasn't a screw job. He shouldn't have been looking at AJ. He should have been, dude was on the other side of the ring, 20 feet away. He could have just been taking care of business, but instead, he's got to be checking out AJ.
Well,
that's his own fault.
If
That's
you
his
were
own
doing
failing.
something and AJ walked right in front of you, you wouldn't take a few seconds to look.
Well, even if I did, it wouldn't be AJ's fault that I turned around and tried to do something and failed.
It's true.
He did not get blindsided. So, with that, they did not beat the clock. Sheamus almost won, but only with a few seconds to go and everything. So, I'm like, wow. And yes. Okay, what do we got now? Oh, that was when we had the Vince McMahon thing. Now we have Del Rio and Ricardo Rodriguez. Alright. So...
This was stupid.
So, Del Rio is a face. And,
which is stupid.
I think he obviously showed that he can, work at being a face and everything, right?
Where's John Cena's really boring promo?
That's later.
Okay, sorry.
So, okay. My only problem with this really is that his turn from a bad guy to a good guy made no sense.
Made no sense.
He was a good guy, then he did the Santa thing, and now
he's still obnoxious.
Yes, he still is obnoxious, but at least he doesn't have, the expensive car and the honking and everything.
True.
But the turn was, ridiculous. It was ungenuine. He didn't get in the ring and be like, guys, I'm really sorry, I was a real jerk. He was just like, oh, you love me now. Right? So you got Ricardo Rodriguez doing this funny guy game show gimmick type thing with the bucket, and he's like, hey guys, here comes Del Rio, And, yes. They show little kids in the crowd, so, you're like, yeah, well, okay, he's a good guy now, because they're showing little kids. They even show a girl who was desperately trying to get on television, so they're like, oh, well, there's a pretty girl, so obviously he's a face now, and everything. And then they show this guy, Cigaro Romero or something, I don't know, some athlete I've never heard of, in the crowd. So, well, if the guy in the crowd likes him that's an athlete, well... See, I think those are all cheap tactics to get people to believe it and everything. But at the same time, everybody was cheering for Del Rio. They were going CCC, and everybody accepted him like anything. So, that's good and everything, but I still cannot accept that transition. That transition sucked. That was like crap.
It did. And then Del Rio gave a scintillating promo in which he counted to 10 in Spanish.
And the crowd ate it up.
Which I didn't understand.
Bob Backlund is in the Hall of Fame now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Was that groundbreaking and exciting?
But they got to do it with him.
Just saying.
But anyways, so now Cena comes out and talks about random stuff.
This was the most boring promo I've ever heard, I think. He's like, hey little kid, this is what you do on Sunday. And he described a little kid Sunday. about playing video games or something, and he's like, hey, girl, this is what you do on Sunday. And he described what this random girl would do on Sunday. Then he picked out this guy. The guy part, the last one was kind of funny. But the first two were so painful that I couldn't even enjoy the last one.
He mentioned Jaeger bombs.
That he did.
See, it's like...
And I was just like, what?
He came out and it was like, ladies and gentlemen, your entertainment for the night, comedian John Cena. And he's like, hey, crowd, hey, I see we got a fat guy in the crowd who likes Jaeger bombs. You know what I mean?
But see, that part was actually funny. The part with the kid and the girl was not funny.
Yeah. It was so random. And it, like, had nothing to do about anything.
Long.
It had nothing to do about anything.
Well, no, because then at the end he's like, and this Sunday at the Royal Rumble, it will be different because we'll be all watching the Royal Rumble together. And I was just like...
and I'll be winning the Rumble. So, although the girls' Sunday sucks, and although the guys' Sunday sucks, and the little kid's Sunday sucks...
Actually, he was saying it was great.
Oh.
He didn't say that it sucked.
Well, I would say that, because if you're going to win the Royal Rumble, everybody else's Sunday kind of sucks. But he also said, you know, he also plays video games and gets beat by that little kid or something. And I was like, this is so irrelevant, I guess. I don't know. I thought it was dumb. Like, it had no connection with anything. And he's like, oh yeah, well, the Royal Rumble, I'm going to win that. And that's when we have the parading of people. Sheamus comes out and he's like, all right, fella, I'm going to win. The primetime players of all people come out and say they're going to win. Randy Orton says there's no dancing. There's none of that. I'm going to win the Rumble. The Miz says, really? I'm going to win the Rumble. Kane and Daniel Bryan, they argue. Antonio Cesaro comes out, 3MB, and then the entire locker room, I assume, comes out, and they all get into a Rumble brawl where they all hit each other and start throwing each other out, and then Raw is over.
It was great.
It was one of those brawls, you know, you're supposed to get excited when Raw is going off the air, and there's complete chaos, and we don't know who's going to win and everything. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be excited. That's going to be the Rumble. It's going to be chaos. Anybody could win. Even the primetime players could win the Royal Rumble.
Even Santino.
Aren't you excited?
Tears in his eyes.
Aren't you just excited?
He tries the Cobra.
And he doesn't.
No. I mean, I just didn't think this episode was very good.
Really? That's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what happened when we were at Starbucks. Hope it wasn't earth-shattering.
Maybe it was super great, and we just missed out.
I don't know. But I am excited about the Rumble. Always excited about the Rumble.
I know you are. I'm not that excited about the Rumble. I mean, I'm not, like, hating on the Rumble. I'm just not, like, super pumped like you are.
There could be some returns that could be interesting.
I hope Morrison comes back.
Well, maybe. But that was Raw.
I hope that we have a place to watch the Rumble.
I do, because we were going to a party, but now we are not.
Well, maybe. He said he was going to downgrade his cable package and not do it. So I don't know if he actually has done that yet or not.
Probably not. He is Captain Procrastinate.
He is Captain Procrastinate.
Alright, well, that was Raw. We will see you guys after the Royal Rumble, and we'll see who won the Rumble, and if CM Punk is still WWE Champion.